All right. Anderson County Criminal Court is now in session. Honorable Judge Zach Walton presiding.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. We are here today in case number C0C00347, State of Tennessee versus Shawn Tyler Witness. We were set to begin a jury trial tomorrow, but my understanding is the parties have reached an agreement.
We have, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Mr. Willis, if you'll please come to the podium. Mr. Willis, will you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Willis, I'm about to ask you a series of questions. I'm going to need you to answer out loud with a formal yes or no, not yeah or uh-huh. That way everything's clear with our court reporter. If you don't understand me, just ask me to repeat myself and I'll be glad to. You can also refer to your lawyer, Ms. Corey, at any point throughout this proceeding. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name for the record.
Shawn Tyler Willis.
Mr. Willis, do you understand that you are now under oath and that I'm going to ask you questions about your involvement in the offenses you're charged with? And you will have to answer those questions truthfully, or your answers could be used against you in a prosecution for perjury or aggravated perjury.
Yes, sir.
You are charged in this indictment in count 1 with first-degree murder. That carries a minimum punishment with imprisonment for life with the possibility of parole. Because you were a juvenile at the time of the offense, the parole eligibility would be between 25 and 36 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm now going to go over your rights with you. First of all, you have a right to plead not guilty, persist in that plea, and have your case tried by a jury, and that jury must unanimously find you guilty in order for you to be convicted. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You have a right to subpoena witnesses that would testify for you at trial. Do you understand that right?
Yes, sir.
Additionally, you have the right to confront and have your lawyer cross-examine any witness that testifies against you at trial. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You also have a right to testify on your own behalf. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You also have a right to not testify and remain silent, in which case I would instruct the jury that your silence could not be used against you at trial.
Yes, sir.
You have a right to appeal any verdict that a jury may return against you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You also have a right to appeal any ruling that I've made that's adverse to you. For example, we've had a couple of motions in this case. Ms. Corey filed a motion for me to remand this case back to the juvenile court and a motion to suppress your police interrogation. Do you understand that you can't appeal my ruling on those motions?
Yes, sir.
By coming here today, going through this procedure, and entering into this plea agreement, you are giving up all of those rights, and there will be no trial in this case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Today's convictions may affect you in the future. If you're ever charged and convicted with other offenses, you may be subject to enhanced punishment because of today's conviction. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You'll be entering a plea to a felony today. As a result, you will lose the right to vote and the right to run for public office while the judgment is in effect. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Additionally, by pleading guilty to a felony, you may not own, carry, or possess a firearm, and if you're caught with a firearm, you can be charged with a crime. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Also, by being convicted of a felony, you will be subject to impeachment if you give sworn testimony in the future. In other words, if you ever testify at another court proceeding, you may be asked about your prior conviction. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Your plea of guilt today may affect your immigration or naturalization status if you're not a United States citizen. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, Mr. Willis?
21.
How much formal education do you have?
High school diploma.
Can you read and write? Can you read and write?
Yes and no. I have trouble reading.
Okay, you say you've had some trouble reading. Your signature is present on this form.
Yes, sir.
Were you able to read this form?
My lawyer's read it to me.
Your lawyer read it to you. Do you have any questions at all about what's on this form that you've signed?
No, sir.
So you feel you understand your waiver fully?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Corey, did you read his form to him?
I read it verbatim, and I also paraphrased it in more layman's terms that he could understand as well.
Thank you. I see that you've signed this form that sets forth the rights that you and I have discussed here today. Do you understand that by signing this form that you've indicated for the record that you've had this form read to you? which includes the rights that we've gone over, you understand those rights and you're waiving those rights here today?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of alcohol, drugs, medication, or any other substance today to the point that you don't understand this process?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any mental illness today to the point that you don't understand this process?
No, sir.
Has anyone forced you to enter this plea agreement?
No, sir.
Has anyone threatened you to enter this plea agreement?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promises to you to enter this plea other than the promises contained in the written agreement that you've signed?
No, sir.
So you're entering this plea on your own free will, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And your willingness to enter this plea is based upon prior discussions between your lawyer and the district attorney's office, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
There may be recommendations as to punishments in your case. I'm not required to accept those recommendations. If I reject the recommendation, you may appeal my decision or you may withdraw your guilty plea. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the work of your attorney in this case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied that your attorney has investigated the facts and researched the law to the point that she would be ready to defend you at trial if called upon to do so?
Yes, sir.
Has she filed every motion you wished for her to file?
Yes, sir.
Has she interviewed every witness that you wished for her to interview?
Yes, sir.
Has she sought to receive every piece of evidence you wish to see?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that you've asked her to do that she's not done?
No, sir.
Ms. Coria, are you satisfied the procedures we are following today are technically correct and that this agreement is in your client's best interest?
I believe it's what my client wishes to do and to avoid a trial.
Are you satisfied that you've investigated the facts and researched the law to the point that you would be ready for trial or to make a recommendation in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
As to count one, which has been amended to second-degree murder, how do you plead, Mr. Willis?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, sir.
The court accepts your waiver and calls upon the state for evidence. How will you proceed, General?
Yes, Your Honor. On April 20th of 2020, police and emergency services were dispatched out to a home at 159 Andes Ridge Road in Anderson County. When they arrived, they encountered a female, later identified as Sandy Willis, deceased in her bed with massive head trauma. The scene was preserved for investigators to come and process as a crime scene. Interviews were done on the scene and photographs were taken. The investigation yielded the following information: that on that morning around 11 a.m., Shawn Willis had called Sherman Riffey, a volunteer firefighter and the father of his girlfriend at the time, to come to his house because he could not wake his mother, Sandy Willis. Sherman Riffey came out to the residence to assist. When he arrived, he found Sandy Willis with no pulse and massive head trauma. Mr. Riffey was the one who called 911 to summon assistance. Shawn Willis was interviewed on the scene by law enforcement, and he initially said that he had woken up that morning and the front door was open and that he had noticed his mother's phone wasn't charging. So he went upstairs to put his mother's phone on a charger, which is when he discovered her unresponsive. That story later changed multiple times upon questioning by law enforcement and members of his family. These stories were inconsistent with each other and the evidence of the crime scene. This defendant's change of behavior and demeanor was also alarming to his family and raised suspicions of the family and law enforcement. On May 5th of 2020, this defendant was interviewed by Detective Don Scolia at the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. Initially, this defendant gave the story that he had initially given to law enforcement about him waking up and the front door being open and going upstairs to check his mother's phone. After being confronted by the officer about how his story wasn't making sense, the defendant broke down and admitted to shooting his mother after an argument about a cell phone where she had taken it away from him that morning. He also spoke to his father, Jeremy Willis, at the conclusion of the interview, where he cried and admitted to his father that he had killed his mother and that he was sorry. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation assisted in this investigation, and experts were prepared to testify at trial that the fatal bullet came from the defendant's own, or that the victim's own gun, and that this defendant's clothing tested positive for gunshot residue. The Regional Forensic Center's autopsy report, as amended, yielded the information that this victim was initially shot in the back of the head as she laid in her bed asleep, and that shot did not penetrate her skull, causing her to move, and she was shot again in the temple, which was the fatal shot and cause of death. All of these events happened in Anderson County. The state of Tennessee, via the District Attorney's Office, would like to thank the Anderson County Sheriff's Office, the Anderson County Child Advocacy Center, and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation for their hard work in this case. Members of the Willis family are present here in this courtroom, and some members will be giving a victim impact statement in this case, Your Honor. And this agreement has been approved by the family.
Thank you. Mr. Willis, do you agree that those are the facts that the state would be able to prove if we proceeded to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Corey, are those facts consistent with your investigation?
Yes, Your Honor.
This time I'm going to ask you to take a seat, Mr. Willis. And the state's indicated that they're going to present some victim impact testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you wish to proceed? Do you want them at the witness stand or to read statements from the podium?
I think that they could come up and just give it from the podium,
That'd
and
be
there's
fine.
going to be 3 in total. Why don't we start with Jeremy? The first impact statement is from Jeremy Willis.
Your Honor. I'm sitting here in this courtroom broken, hearted, and torn. You were very selfish in so many ways. You took my wife, the woman I was supposed to grow old with, and I'll never get a chance to experience that with your selfish act. You took your brother's mom away with your selfish act. JJ doesn't have his mom no more. He always called her for advice, vent to, or just to talk to. JJ will never hear, "I love you" or "have a good day" from his mom again. Dylan can't go and hug his mom for comfort. Dylan will never hear "I love you" again from his mom again. He will never hear his mom's voice again. With all that said, I won't be able to finish raising my son, Shawn. And JJ and Dylan both won't be able to play or grow with you. Not only have you taken my wife, you've taken your brother's mom, a sister, a daughter, a sister-in-law, a daughter-in-law, a best friend, and a wonderful, loving, happy, caring person. On April 2020, we lost 2 family members. I love you, but I do not agree in any way, shape, or form on what you have done. Mom didn't deserve what you have done. She battled cancer and beat it for all of us. I hope at some time you realize what you have done, how much you have messed up, not only JJ, Dylan's, or my life, but all the other lives that was impacted with this. And you've also messed yours up too. At the start of this, I said I was brokenhearted and torn because I say that this is a bitter and sweet moment. I am glad justice is being served for Mom. I am sad because of who done it. I have no words to close this statement. All I can say is that I love you. I miss who you was. I love and miss Mom, and I hope you understand who you took away and what you have done.
Thank you. General.
Yes. State calls Lucas.
My name's Lucian. I am Shawn's older brother. You will never grasp the pain that you caused. You didn't just take a life, you took our mother, the strongest woman I've ever known, and my best friend, my anchor, the person that I needed most. She fought through so much, including breast cancer, just to be here with us, and you took her away. You took away the future of any of my children that I might have, their grandmother. You took away a mother, a wife, a friend, a daughter, a sister, all in one moment. Every day I ask myself, what gave you the right to choose who lived and who died? What gave you the right to take her from us? I stand before you in court, not for closure, but to make it abundantly clear that the brother I once knew is gone. The person you are now is a stranger, and that bond is broken forever. There will always be a part of me that remembers the good times because that's how Mom raised us. And the person you became and the actions you took has forever changed my view. Again, you took more than a mother, you took the family's peace, and that is something you will never undo. with all that said, and after everything she did, not only for me and everyone else, but especially for you, Shawn, what reason do you have for this? I don't want excuses. All I want is the truth from you. Why?
Eddie Willis.
This is a victim's impact statement for Darlene Fields, who couldn't be here today. Darlene and me and her sister, your mom, we all grew up together, elementary school. Knew each other our whole lives. She just ended up happening to marry my brother and have children with him. For 27 years, Sandy was more than just my friend. She was my sister, my heart, my safe place in this world. We grew up together, weathered every season of life side by side, and shared a bond that only comes once in a lifetime. Losing her has broken me in ways I can't fully explain. Losing her in such a violent way at the hands of her own son has left a wound that will never heal. Sandy loved her children more than anything. Excuse me. She would have given her own life to protect her children, and tragically, one of them took it from her. That truth is devastating. She didn't deserve to die, especially not like this. She deserved peace, love, and the chance to grow old with people she cherished in her life. Sandy was a light in a dark place and stood by me through my hardest moments, lifted me when I couldn't lift myself, and gave me friendship that shaped who I am. We shared laughter, tears, secrets, and dreams. And now all I have are memories and pain, knowing I will never get another moment with her. Her death has shaken everyone who loved her. The betrayal, the heartbreak, and the silence left behind is more than grief. It's a daily struggle to accept that someone so full of life and love is gone forever. I will carry her memory for the rest of my life. I will speak her name, honor her love, and never let the world forget the beautiful soul she was. She deserves so much more, and I will miss her more than words could ever say. Signed, Darlene Fields. John, this is for me. Something that can't never be taken back has happened. 1 John 1:9 says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. I don't agree with what you did, but I love you and I forgive you. And take care of yourself. Thank you.
Any other victim impact evidence, General?
Nothing left from the state, Your Honor.
These moments are difficult, and in a plea agreement, both sides feel like they've given up something. For people who knew the victim in this case, sometimes you feel like you lost something because you didn't proceed to a trial to get perhaps the worst possible punishment. This courtroom is not a place for closure. Jury trials do not provide that. I wish that they did. I wish our justice system could provide people with the closure that they need. The reality is, if we had proceeded to trial in this case, it would have lasted weeks. The lawyers would have presented only glimpses into the life of Miss Willis, only glimpses that would be blocked out by evidentiary rules into the family life, the trial would have been very painful. The proposed resolution is just, so even though you all may feel like you've given up something by consenting to this agreement, you all made the right decision. There's a value in the certainty that comes with a plea agreement. Trials last a long time. Things can go wrong in the course of a trial, and you never know what a jury's going to do, and then it creates a pretty lengthy appellate process. So there's certainty today in what you all have done. And I do appreciate getting to hear more about the life of Miss Willis. At this time, when he's ready, I'm going to need him to come back to the podium. Mr. Willis, the court finds you guilty and imposes the recommended sentence as follows. You will be sentenced to 30 years on the charge of second-degree murder. This will be served in the custody of the Tennessee Department of Corrections. There is no parole eligibility in this case. You may earn up to 15% good time. You are being sentenced as a range 2 offender, even though you are not a range 2 offender. Based on this agreement, you have agreed to be sentenced at a higher range in exchange for agreeing to a lower charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions at all about your sentence?
No, sir.
Additionally, we're imposing court costs. Anything else from either of the parties?
Yes, sir, and I have one thing to say.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, I want you to know that I love y'all and I miss y'all. Today I'm taking responsibilities for what I did to Mom. I could not imagine what a trial would do to y'all. To every single one of y'all. And Dylan. I just couldn't put y'all for that. I made a mistake in life. And I'm sorry. I know y'all want to know why. Here and now, I can say I'm sorry. I will write to y'all and talk to y'all about why. I hope that you are open to a relationship in the future. I am so sorry for the pain I caused, and I love all and miss y'all.
Anything else from either of the parties?
No.
Court's adjourned.
Thank you.
All rise.